Confines of my dingy and opaque office. We are live and we are bad. We got no one in here. When you were very young, the world was younger than you, as merry as a carousel. The circus paint was strung, or circus tent was strung, with all the stars in the sky. Hey, Dickie Farley's in the chat. Envious Creations Car Club. What's going on, brother? Shell is in the chat. Howdy, Shell. Danny Boyd. Charlie Roma. That's my new thing, Charlie. If no one's in the live stream, I just sing until people show up. Dickie said, I'm here. There's no need to sing. Dickie, what's going on with you and the dog, man? I missed that portion I missed most of Tony's live stream. I was hanging out with the family. How's everybody doing? What's going down? How did the week treat you? Mexican Spec, how are you, brother? What's going down? Danny Boyd singing Southern Nights. Miss Olive Drab is in the chat. Howdy, Olive. Dan, I was a little disappointed. I saw all these shorts and videos of No Name Nationals, and no one used that song. Mexican Spec's still looking for a nice Beetle. Well, they never made one, so you're going to be looking for a long time. I'm just kidding. A lot of people like Volkswagens. A lot of people. A wise man once told me there's an ass for every seat. Danny Boyd's saying Dakota or Hunter used it once in a short once. Used it in a short once, I think, is what he actually said. I just ruined it. Yeah, they listen to great tunes. Dakota and Hunter are cool dudes. Shell's saying week was okay. Slept good Saturday. Saturday night, nice. Dickie Farley's saying there's an old Australian Shepherd I see that's not only in a cage, but is chained up inside a cage, which I don't understand. But anyway, I see it when I walk my dog, and it just depresses me. So I'm going to try to get the dog if I can. Oh, that's cool. I mean, as long as it's a nice dog. That thing could just, it might just be that vicious to where it's chained up, Mexican Spec saying, one in good condition. Maybe nice wasn't the right word. Said the sellers are pissing me off, asking a lot of money for crap. Yeah, I don't understand. It used to be such a throwaway kind of thing. They were like Volkswagen engines, under stones when you looked around. But nowadays, people want to charge a lot of money for it. It's like a high dollar thing. Chris Greenaway saying, well, I got to stay up to switch to night shift. That'll do it. Howdy, Chris. Mike N32451 is in the chat. Howdy, Mike. Saying, what's up? Not much, man. I'm in here ranting. Shell saying, stock the stalker and got stocked back. Make sure it's on live chat. Unfinished Project is in the chat. He's probably got to get to bed soon. Got a lot to do. 8 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock. John Goggins in the chat. Howdy, John. But yeah, that's pretty cool, Dickie. I like Aussies a bunch, and it's kind of sad to see dogs like that. You want a cat too, Dickie? I mean, very temperamental little cat. His litter was a little too low for his preference, so my jeans got peed on. But the cat's still alive, so I'm a good person, right? Mopar Man 1978 is in the chat. Chris Greenaway saying lingering cough, but I feel better than ever. Yeah, I was kind of getting that too, Chris, but I feel a lot better. Last week I was okay for the live stream on Sunday, but Monday morning I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning just hurting. I felt like I got horse kicked in the chest. Mike N saying Halloween 3 is the best one in the whole series. I still like the first one. I never liked those movies that much. It just, the whole, like, the shape, Michael Myers, whatever you want to call him, always pissed me off. It's like, I don't know. Like, I was like, why doesn't some, like, set this thing on fire or something? You know? I don't know. Mexican Specs asking if the cat pees in my shoes for offering them up every weekend. He has peed on a, he's peed in some shoes. That's what happened to my white Chuck Taylor's, actually a little bastard cat. Dickie Farley saying, no, it's a super nice dog. That's what gets me the most. It's a super nice. It just comes to the edge of the fence and whines and wants me to pet it. Oh, that sucks, man. It's just someone doesn't know how to take care of it, so it's just locked up, double chained. Mike N's asking my favorite B horror movie. Probably Stephen King's Silver Bullet. I love that movie. Danny Boyd saying Highballing is free on YouTube. Jerry Reed is in it. Mexican Spec saying, all right, I had two guys tell me their car was nicer. It would be worth $300,000 or 300,000 pesos, $400. I told both Novocho is worth 300K unless it's a last edition from 2004 with 0 miles. Just idiots. What, do they watch your channel or something? Do they think you're like high rolling or what? You know what I mean? You got to roll around like me, you know, wear a stained up pumpkin shirt and, you know, don't shave. One poor man saying I had similar issues, took a little ivermectin, and the next day was good as gold. Nice. Yeah, Shell, the cat's neuter. He's a picky little bastard. He's just, oh, don't get me started on the damn cat. It's technically Hubie's cat anyway. Yeah, Shell, he's been fixed since he was a kitten, so I don't understand with the whole marking thing, but if I'm gone too much or if his litter isn't the way he likes it, something's getting pissed on. John Goggins saying Michael Myers killed a dog on Halloween. That was the saddest death for me. Is that wrong? I don't know. I think we're kind of wired that way, John. No, poor Manny for sure needs a cat Snickers. Mexican Specs saying, no, people are asking a lot for their bugs. Don't understand it. I'm going to have to go to Guadalajara to get a nice one, but that is more shipping. Yeah, that's a bit of a ways, huh? Mike N saying, I like the stuff from 1985. Ever seen it? I don't think I have, but I'll write it down, Mike. I got to get my pad out. You guys are always teaching me things. What did I watch last time? I watched One Crazy Summer. You guys gave me that as a homework assignment. Dickie Farley saying, all right, I thought you were trying to be a Halloween Reese's Cup. Colleen Tebow's in the chat. Howdy, Colleen. Chris Green saying, all right, you like him, don't lie. The cat? I love the cat. I love the hell out of the cat. He's been my buddy. Plus, he's like 10, I think 11 years old this year. He's a senior cat. Shell saying cats like one more litter box than cats in a. Yeah, they're little asses. Try to be. Justin Hill's in the chat. Howdy, Justin. Mopar man, I remember Old Yeller. Lazy A-hole Ranch is in the chat. Yeah, I did like it. I was not ready for Bobcat Goldthwait though. I was not ready. But it was pretty damn classic. The scene where he goes over the diorama in the Godzilla suit was pretty amazing. I was happy with that. But those 80s movies, you know, they followed that like formula, you know, the whole John Hughes thing with the cool girl and the popular guy and then the nice girl, but she's not popular, and then the full circle there. But yeah, it was totally cool. I think the other one was Better Off Dead, but I couldn't find that one. I could only find One Crazy Summer, so. Well, for free. I'm a cheap bastard. Brian M's in the chat. Ferrari powered boat. Lazy Ace saying, I love a crazy old guy constantly trying to win a radio contest. He's like about to take a shower, but he doesn't want to do it. Then the rocket at the end. Justin say, take your mask off. You're scared. It's a permanent mask, Justin. Nathan's Mopar Garage is in the chat. Howdy, Nathan. Lazy Ace said, I have no idea who directed that, but I love all of his movies. Yeah, I think it's not John Hughes that did that one, but I mean, it's reminiscent of those movies to me because those are the ones I watch. Like Breakfast Club's obviously a favorite, stuff like that. Better Off Dead is even better. All right, I'll hold out. I'll wait for it. Lazy A-Hole Rancher saying Better Off Dead is probably my favorite movie of all time. Really? Yeah, I definitely got to. Maybe I'll pay a couple bucks to rent it at that rate. Chris Greenway saying Gran Torino is the best car movie, although it's only 5 to 10 frames. I really do love that one. Gran Torino, I've always been compared to Clint in that movie, so it's like. Mexican Spec saying, Ari, the guy from Bangladesh 2 weeks ago sent me 2 messages tonight. Yeah, I think his name was Nafi Islam, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, he seemed like a nice enough dude. He was trying to get into something. I don't know what the condition. I don't know what Bangladesh is like. Lazy A-Hole Rancher say, might just have to send it to you. Lazy A, I still got a care package I need to send to you. I mean, I've been trying to send you tobacco seeds since like spring. I got your 24 millimeter wrench. I got stuff. Lazy A, I have not seen Real Genius, but I'll write it down. See, I love this. You guys are always sharing stuff with me. I get some new art, some new music, some little bit of everything. Grilling and chilling with Mojo's in the chat. Howdy, Mojo. How are you, brother? I've been missing the morning cookouts. How's it been? Everything cool up north? Dakota's timeout is in the chat, and he's not timed out. Howdy, Dakota. Mike N wants some tobacco seeds too? No, Mike, I actually have. They're actually tobacco seeds. I swear. I got them. My buddy brought them from Hawaii, and it's some kind of like long leaf tobacco. I don't know. I just liked it for the pink flowers. And yeah, the pink flowers, and it brought a lot of hummingbirds because they got like nicotine addicted. So it was a win. But you're welcome to have some, Mike. I'll send some out. I mean, ask Lazy A, you know what I mean? My brain is not what it should be, so I've been trying to send them her way for a while. But Shell saying, Chris, I wouldn't turn one down. Someday I will own a 71 Hemi Cuda and a 70 Challenger 446 pack. Shell, those are some seriously badass cars. Not cheap cars, but really badass. Lazy A saying, I have wacky tobacco growing in the other room. Proper. I don't think I have any herb seeds like that. Nothing worthy of note anyway. Probably got better genetics in Colorado. Nathan's Mopar Garage is saying, movie I need to watch, I barely remember, is The Heavenly Kid. I do remember it had some good car stuff. I'm writing it down, Nathan. Dickie Farley saying, have you ever watched the comedy Spies Like Us? Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd. It's free on YouTube right now. I'll watch it. Let me write it down. Spies Like Us. Never thought Aykroyd was super funny. Chevy Chase has got some good ones, though. Chris Greenaway saying, if I had a girlfriend with those goals, I'd be happy. Hard to tell if any chick in my Zoom generation the old stuff is cool and like not a G-Wagon. Shell's saying, Ari, there's something about old school muscle. Yeah, plus those cars just got such great body lines. They're pretty, pretty sexy cars, for lack of a better way of saying. Mopar Man saying Saturday Night Fever. Work on my hair all day and you hit it. That seems pretty hilarious. Dickie Farley saying, the Heavenly Kid is definitely for you. And YouTube, I watched it on the same channel, on some channel on YouTube a while back. Unfinished project, watched the Meg 2 last night, no cars. I tried getting through the first one unfinished, but I was a little, I don't know. I mean, it was hard for me to kind of invest myself in it, I guess, but I'll give it another try. I mean, I'll try, man. Definitely free on YouTube. GTI Warriors in the chat saying my favorite movie is The Warriors. I love that movie. That era of movies, you know what I mean, to where I don't know, it wasn't like they were really high budget or anything, but they really kind of like painted their own world. They didn't need a lot of premise or explanation. I enjoyed those. Unfinished project saying you definitely need to be in the right mindset. I think what he's saying is he got stoned to watch Meg 2. Chris Greenaway saying 70 CUDA is personally prettier to me than 71. I like 70 a lot, but that's because it's the only one I worked on. Warriors! Clinging the bottles. I was watching a documentary somewhere where, or I think maybe At Zero was telling me that the actor who did that, it was something that he had experienced like in his apartment complex or something. In the parking garage, someone would cling bottles and say, come out and play or something. It was like something that actually happened. Homeschool Garage is in the chat saying, hello, world. Welcome, Homeschool. Yeah, the Warriors. That's a great one. Mike Ann 32451 saying, Brian De Palma films, lots of colors, always uses a split screen. Shell saying they sold a 70 Challenger with a 4-speed and a 446 pad at Barrett Jackson in New Orleans for $65K. You know, I mean, it sounds really inflated, I guess, but you compare it to how much you might spend. I mean, like 60 grand is, I mean, that's like a Ram truck nowadays. Homeschool Garage is saying, all right, it's Primo Abel. It's in the chat. Or wait, different Primo Abel, or all of saying Shell, that doesn't seem so much these days for an auction like, yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not 65 grand isn't like a, you know, spare change at all, but what you're getting for it, you know. Plus, it's not like the car is going to go down in value the second you take it home, like anything else you'd spend that much on. Tavo Garage is dropping by for a quick hello. Howdy, Tavo. How are you, man? Primo Abel, right on, man. How are you? 3 o'clock high. I think I've seen that one, Mopar, man. I don't. Mexican Spec's not a fan of the E-body cars. You sit too low in them, and it gives the feeling of not being in control of the car. I don't know. Driving that 70 CUDA, I mean, I didn't really drive it much. I just kind of moved it around to park it and shuffle cars around at the shop, but I felt pretty badass. Dakota saying 60K, I make that in 2 days. Nice, man. It only takes me 2 years, Dakota. Chris Greenaway saying 70 is mean and sleek. Watch Jay Leno with Karen Carpenter's Brother Love. Brother, I love the AAR and Challenger TA at 71, but they put all the bling, then got bloated. Shell saying it wasn't a lot. 1 year, the same model sold for $165,000. Those auctions are weird. I mean, and you never know what's going up, what's going down. There's not a lot of consistency there. Craig Chitto saying, Ari, did you watch National Lampoon's Senior Trip? No, Craig, because I forgot to write it down like a genius. Got a list of movies to watch, a list of things to do. GTI Warrior saying, no, Ari, you made the car feel badass. Those things are sweet, man. That one, there's like certain cars you get into and it's like, you're just like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, well, the other one was like a 69 Mach 1 that I messed with a little bit. That thing was absolutely badass. Just certain cars. I don't know. They're not really my style, but they're definitely like really cool cars. That's probably why they're not my style. Oh, no buzzing. I am live, people. I'm alive. All right, let me turn that off. Dean saying, I felt the same way. I'm a passenger in the car my superior mama drives, the ecstasy E-Bot. 60s Plymouth Valiant. Those Valiants are funny looking cars. Seeing Don English run his down the track at the No Name Nationals, especially with like the Continental kit and everything, I'm like, wow, that is like, it's trying to grow out in every direction. It doesn't really know what it's doing. Danny Boyd saying, excuse me? Shell saying, my favorite Mopars are 71 Hemi-Cuda, 70 Challenger, the 446 pack, and a 69 and a 68 9 Charger, and a 68 Roadrunner. I don't know. I honestly, I really like the weird kind of land yachty cars. Like, I would love a 67 Monaco. Dickie's saying that the new Bill and Ted movie is free on YouTube right now. I need to finish it myself. I need to catch up on the old ones. All I remember is So Crates, and I'd need to rewatch them. I haven't watched them since I was real young. Chris Greenaway saying, I don't like Mopar cars. A lot of people forget how cheap they are. Rattly windows, door consoles. Yeah, they're some of them. I don't know if it's the ones I've dealt with were a little bit thrown together for sure, but I don't know. Like the Dart's got like 4 spot welds on the entire car. Mike Ann saying Brian De Palma did The Untouchables. He did Blowout, Snake Eyes, Carrie, Phantom of Paradise. Love his use of bright contrasting colors in the movies. Same feel as The Warriors. Well, now I'm going to pay more attention, Mike. Olive's laughing at the Continental kits. Mexican Spec saying, I had a 62 Valiant V200 two-door when I lived in Vegas. Loved it. They are funky looking cars. Dakota's timeout saying, Mexican actually cut all the letters out of newspapers. That way it is convenient when I go to make letters sent to the hostage's family. Who are you taking hostage, Dakota? Danny Boyd saying, I live in a Vega, but I drive a Valiant. Shell wants a 64 Ford Galaxy. Those are sweet cars, too. Bad Georgia Road is one on YouTube worth a watch. Car's a 70 Roadrunner. Shell saying, I'll take a 66 GT350. That's another sweet one. Olive saying I was a bit behind. Should be more email for you. Yeah, I think I got your email, Olive. I need to send you some cash. I should get a couple bucks from the Tooth Fairy this week, and I'll be able to send some money your way. Olive was kind enough to have. Well, she sent out to me a new old stock steel shim head gasket for the Slant 6. Shell saying I want an 87 Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. That's another one. These are all great cars, Shell. Danny Boyd saying my ma had a 63 Valiant two-door Slant 6, 3 on the tree when I was a little kid. Got a wedding across the way. They're playing some horrible music. Nothing says matrimony like apple bottom jeans. Chris is talking about Mercs again. Chris Cadman wants a tank. All of a sudden, cool. My sis has a vent. Yeah, I'll make sure to send. I need to get that. I'll get my ducks in a row here. I'll send you guys some cash. I'll make sure to send some extra for you, Olive, so I can actually pay for the part, and maybe you can buy yourself some ammo for the new 1911, or I don't know, anything you so please buy. Landon Custom Classics is in the chat, and a boots with the fur. Yeah, that's what's on, Mike. That's they're getting married right now, and Shorty got low. Oh my God. Shell saying I also want a 1910 Stutz Bearcat. Unfinished project saying, I think you should make a movie starring Peaches. Something cowboy, ranchy. Days of trucks and sadness. If I had a decent camera, I could probably pull off some kind of short film. Cousin Mike saying ducks are really hard to get in a row. They're crazy. Mike, did you get any more fish earlier? Mike was walking the irrigation canals that they had just drained and just picking out fish out of puddles and everything. I thought it was pretty cool. Whoa, 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 whoa. Things going wild on me. It's going wild. All of a sudden, could cover a few accessories. We got a lot of reloads, but probably should have some off the shelf. I was going to send some reloads, but it seemed excessive. They're probably not as worth as much as the hazmat fee would be. Or the explosive hazmat, whatever the fee is. Chris Greenaway saying, "I give the guy some credit. He walked away from the club with her, but she..." Oh, man. Homeschool Garage is saying, Ari, let's do Power Tour West in December. What does that entail, man? I don't even know. You know I don't do stuff. Because Mike saying we had a good fishing trip today. Voluntary life sentence. 48 hours and another 48 hours is free on YouTube. I'll write it down, Dickie. Shell saying we ship bullets all the time. Yeah, they charge an extra fee though, the explosive fee or something, and it's simple enough, but it's not cheap. Shell saying my ex thought cars were just for transportation. We got to be transported in style though. Olive saying the estate was from an avid reloader and instructor. Everyone got lots. Nice. I see people scoring stuff like that from estate sales. Like one of the welders that I worked with at the last shop, he scored a bunch of stuff, a bunch of dies and different tools, and I'm like, do you even know how to use any of this? Like, why do you have it? Dave Lewis is in the chat. Howdy, Dave. Homeschool Garage, Cousin Abel saying the power tour starts in Irwindale to Las Vegas back to Pomona. I could probably pull that off. I got a lot of maintenance to do on the truck, but I could probably pull it off. Mopar Man, I don't think I've seen Time Bandits. Shell saying I spent 25 years with that guy. Oh, jeez. It's hard to imagine, Shell. I just turned 31, so 25 years. I barely even spent 25 years with myself. All I'm saying, oh yeah, probably worth more than an item, really. Chris is saying I'm a dinosaur. Cousin Mike just posted a video of a Lincoln that was pretty slick. That Continental, man, I love those cars. I had this old Hot Rod magazine. It must have been from the late 80s or so, and it had a list of cheap projects you could buy into, and those Continentals were on the list of cheap projects. And I'm sitting there looking, nowadays that's like a top dollar car. Everybody wants a $40,000 paint job and a rabbit fur interior and everything else. Spencer's Drink Reviews and Chugs is in the chat. Howdy, Spencer. How are you, man? Shell saying, well, Harry, I'm old enough to be your mom. That's not saying much, Shell. I'm pretty much a child. If it weren't for the facial hair, No, I'm kidding. I've looked like 40 since I was 17. Dickie Farley saying, I'm just shouting out movies I think you might like, buddy. You don't have to watch them, all of them, whenever you get around to it. I appreciate it, man. There's certain times where I'll rewatch spaghetti westerns and crap. Like, what did I have on last time? It was like Barcaro, Sabata, stuff like that, Dave Lewis is saying your truck is famous. It's packed in front of the nudie bar with the Dirty Harry movie that was on last night. Dave, there's actually a scene in, I think it was From Russia with Love, the old 007 movie, where he's driving an Apache 30, I think, the 1-ton truck, and they're dropping grenades on him from a helicopter. But Sean Connery's driving the Apache. So, I mean, Cousin Mike saying, I think it's a 64 Lincoln Continental. Continental. Chris Cadman saying, the dog woke up. I know what is coming. Doing good, Spencer. Dean saying, Ari Child. I mean, I'm at that point. 31 is not exactly spring chicken age, but you compare it to a lot of the people that, in my midst, and it's not much. I was supposed to be working with Hubie on his gasser, but he actually injured his hand doing the brakes on his truck. And he sent me a picture from the ER holding his hand up, and I was like, was it a drone? But it wasn't a drone, so all good. Shell saying, I sold a Continental at New Orleans for $20,000. It looked like a cross between a pimp mobile and the car of a Havana drug dealer, a jalopy. Chris Greenaway saying, I'm entering my 24th year in February. A time machine with my cash. Maybe I'll build a time machine with my cash and I'll have everything I want in 69, 70. I feel you, Chris. It's kind of hard. I glommed onto all the old stuff I can. My storage unit looks like, somebody shook a 70s apartment into it. But Shell's saying many of the James Bond movies are free on Amazon Prime. I saw that, a good few of them. I watched the hell out of those as a kid. The hell out of them. Whoa. Shaking the camera. Vaccine Spec saying, Chris Greenaway, the trick is to put the stuff somewhere in 1969 where they will be safe until 2023. I've thought about this. Dickie Farley saying, I turned 36 recently. Yeah, see, I'm not far behind you, man. Mexican Spec saying, I'm not sure I've seen a Bond film all the way through. I mean, you just get bits and pieces. It's what matters. Willpower Man saying, I like the Roger Moore 007. Those ones are like, he's like in space. He's doing like cliffhanger stuff. It's like, it's pretty classic. I really love the old Sean Connery. He's the best. It's hard to even choose a favorite. Maybe From Russia with Love. Maybe Goldfinger. Cousin Mike saying I'll be 39 next Tuesday. That reminds me, Mike, when I get my tooth fairy money, I gotta get you something off your list. Goldfinger. He's the man with the Midas touch. A spider's touch. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Mike N saying Live and Let Die. That's the one in the swamp and everything. That one's so great. Yeah, Mike, you hit the nail on the head with that one. That one's probably, I mean, that's a Roger Moore too, but that one's just top tier. That one's gold. Andy Boyd saying, I turned 36 a long ass time ago. Shell saying, I have my favorite Bonds. Which one, Shell? Throw one in there. Mia the Animal Fairy saying, who wants to play Kahoot? I'm unenlightened, Mia, but welcome to the chat. Side bumping your old man, you're saying. Mike N saying, I know it's not a popular choice, but A View to a Kill. That's the one with the Duran Duran theme, the whole Silicon Valley thing. That's a cool one, though. Mexican Specs is saying that I've been to Pierce Brosnan's house, but before he was Bond. Pierce was good, too. Shell's asking, but you can't get your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone, Dean. She's saying, not asking. And D's in the chat. Welcome, brother. Gary Dryden's in the chat. Saying, hey, Ari. Hope you've been well. Doing great, Gary. How are you, man? Anything cool happen? Chris Cadman saying, Ari, do not turn around. There's a drone behind you. Dabo Grudge. Mike Kent saying Shirley Bassey. Yep. Yep. Brian M. I'm starting to feel old in this stream at 43. No. Don't feel old. Always saying I like The View to a Kill. Maximum Cheesy. Also Grace Jones. Michelle saying Sean Connery is my favorite Suave Bond, and Thunderball is my favorite with him. Thunderball was great. All the underwater scenes and everything. Cousin Mike saying I'm watching Baby Driver. Michelle's saying Roger Moore will forever be the saint. How great is the theme music to that show, though? I don't think I've ever seen an episode of The Saint, but the theme music is just gold. Gary Dryden saying, depending on what y'all call cool, it's been a roughish week. I'm sorry to hear that, Gary. I hope it's all right now. You're welcome to gripe about it, man. This is actually this live stream is sort of therapy. You know, it's a great place to air grievances. Grievances. I know how to speak, I swear. Tavo Garage is saying I'm too old for this shit. Pushing 61. Tavo, my truck's older than you. Dickie Farley saying before James Bond, Pierce Brosnan was the Lawnmower Man. I even like that movie, even though it's kind of corny. Right, I'm saying like Die Another Day. Mike N saying Maximum Overdrive, great 80s B movie, written and directed by Stephen King, by the way. Only movie he directed. Yeah, I saw that on Tubi, Mike. I think I might have seen that one. I've watched a lot of them. They also got Hearts in Atlantis, if you're ready for a good cry, man. All I'm saying, the Saint, coolest Volvo guy yet. Timothy Dalton. GoldenEye was great. Daniel Craig is great in Skyfall. Yep. All I'm saying makes me think of Hackers for fun, corny movies. I've seen Hackers. Mike N say no. Jeff Fahey was the Lawnmower Man. Yeah, you guys are above my head now. So blind. I'm sitting here trying to read this stupid thing. Time for some new glasses, I think. We got Spice Girls? It's a wedding. We're getting married. Nothing But Trouble with Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase. Dickie's saying Demi Moore, John Candy, and all kinds of people. It's free right now. It's a comedy that at the end has a digital underground with Tupac. I think I've seen that one. Abel D saying I'm 45, feeling like I can make all garages great again. Dreading 46, where I might be fumbling upstairs. Gary Dryden saying, long story short, physical therapy is in the near future. Oh man. Physical therapy, prescribed torture, as some might say. But still cheaper than mental therapy, which is, you know, some sort of saving grace. Much cheaper than couples therapy. Rich 220's in the chat. Howdy, Rich. Aunt D saying, if you want to feel young, hang out with Model A folks. Half of them are 80 plus and still going. Unfinished Project saying, Maximum Overdrive scared me as a child. My parents had it on. I got scared and got under the kitchen table. Then another scary part happened and two cats started fighting under the floor of the mobile. So you got maximum overdrive trauma? That's no good. Here we go again with the ABBA. Every time with the ABBA and the Whitney Houston and then Wham. Like, is this the same DJ? God, hold on, let me close this window, guys. I don't want to hear ABBA. Sorry. Good Lord. Here, ABBA. Getting married. These are adults getting married. I mean, I don't know if they can marry children in this state, but if that were the case, it would make sense. But they're not children, they're adults, and they're getting married with this horrible music. Like, play the Rat Pack or something. Hell, something. I'm a grumpy bastard. I'm sorry, guys. Chris Cadman saying, I've not watched a movie in decades. I usually fall asleep after 15 minutes. I mean, that'll happen. Shell saying the music to The Saint is badass. So is the music to Peter Gunn. Yes. Dean saying, I'd like to steal your content, Rich220. Mopar Man's rolling his eyes to ABBA. Danny Boyd saying ABBA made good music. Abel D saying, Ari saying, get off my lawn with that ABBA crap. Shell saying, I love the Rat Pack. Alba's in the chat. Howdy, Al. Rich220, he's making a joke about me. I used the sound from your short. I was hoping you saw that. Because you were talking about it raining and it was sunny as hell out here. It got a good amount of views. I was hoping you got some subs off of it too. Mike Ian saying, a Little League Coke machine killing the coach really effed me up. When the steamroller ran over the Little League shortstop. Shell saying, I like swing music too. Hell yeah. Expect I'm jealous myself at times. Brian M saying, Motley Crue, girls should be mandatory at weddings. See, that I would understand. If they're getting their crew on or some Van Halen, they're partying, but it's always this like bubbly, laughable music from like 90s rom-coms, and it bothers my mind. And this I swear it's the same DJ. And it makes you want to reach out to the people who rent out the little whatever it is. I'm like the Grinch up here. All the noise. I really am like the Grinch. But I just get tired of hearing the same thing. It used to bug me when I worked in bars too. I was like, really? Oh God, here he goes again. All right, yes, you're in love with the cocoa. We get it. Yep. All right. I'm a miserable bastard. I'm able to like cover it up enough to make myself seem like a semi-stable person on YouTube, I think. But I'm a miserable bastard. Unfinished project saying at the end of the movie were words on a screen describing that the Russians defeated the aliens. Chris Cadman's dog has not farted yet. Rich is saying ABBA was the music parents played to annoy you. Dancing Queen. I mean, I don't know. I think they have other songs. I know Lemmy liked ABBA a bunch, but Mopar Man, there's this guy at the shop at the store I go to, and he's got this man bun. He works there, and I always see him. Mike N saying, "Who turned the screw?" But he's got the man bun, and I can't help it. I'm always looking at him like this because I'm always waiting for him to cut it off. But he always like he'll get hair. He'll go and get. He goes to the barber, but he continuously gets the man bun. And I'm just always looking at him like that. I know he sees me staring at it, but I can't stop. Abel saying, move to Tennessee with Primo Zero already? I would. Mexican Spec saying, I like ABBA. They worked hard to make us believe they could speak English. New Guy's Guitar is in the chat. Howdy, brother. How are you? We're talking about horrible music, man. Shell saying, my mother used to play Gene Pitney to annoy me. I turned the tables by loving it a lot. I don't know if there was anything played specifically to bother me. But a lot of music just bothered me because, again, I'm a miserable bastard. But Danny Boyd saying, I like to think that someone has blocked me before. A lot of people block me. I think it's because, I'm still an Uncle Tony fan after all these years. And Uncle Tony's my friend. I like to consider him a friend. I'm not a fan. But, and people know that I'm not going to stand up to their naysaying, so they just block me out, right? Chris Cadman's saying, what is that shirt? It's a jack-o'-lantern, Chris. Chris Greenaway saying, feel acidity today. Nafi Islam is in the chat. Welcome, brother. But yeah, people block me, which is kind of funny. I'm like pretty cool with everybody. Dean's saying the Wombles records. Dean, one of my best friend is the family's last name is Wombles, so I always used to joke around about them being small woodland creatures. Olive saying, compared to what I call dismal AM radio music, ABBA was fun. Toto, Alva's talking about. New Guy's Guitar saying, ABBA has a fan base. I'm not one of those. No. Buff Del Campo's in the chat. Howdy, Buff. Buff, those pictures of the truck you sent me were beautiful. Buff sent me some pictures of a 1960 Chevy 3/4 ton pickup. Basically my same truck, but 3/4 ton. But it was done really nicely. Had a beautiful white and orange two-tone on it. It was a really straight truck. Looked brand new, really. Chris Cadman's talking about Tom Jones. See, that would be good wedding music, man. Did the stream freeze? I don't know. I didn't touch anything, Mike. Looks like it's still going on my end, as far as I can see. Halloween Reese's cup. Mike's saying good, all good now. New Guy's Guitar saying, I don't music shame here. I music shame New Guys. I don't listen to that. I don't listen to that. All I'm saying, the only cool kid music I could really get as a young kid was the 50s and 60s oldies and surfy stuff. I was scarred by a lot of the Barry Manilow. Yeah, that era is like what is it, the Robert Goulet and stuff, Barry Manilow. I don't know. Those are the records I don't collect. Chris Greenaway saying, Tony is everyone's friend. That's why I'm still there. Feels like Cheers where everybody knows your name. Feel bad for the guy everybody helped has left him, even though he gave them a hand up. Yeah, that's kind of the part that gets That's what really gets thrown under the, let's get brushed under the bus, is how much he actually helps everybody. Mike, I don't think I'm on Wi-Fi, so I shouldn't be freezing. One poor man saying, I also have a cheap Halloween shirt. It's black with white print of a Grim Reaper. It says "Creeping It Real." This is an old Walmart shirt. I wore it today because I took the boy to a pumpkin patch, so it seemed festive. He loves this shirt. He used to wear it when he was tiny. Buff Del Campo saying, I'm tired. I think I drove over 1,000 miles today. Where did you drive from, Buff? Or where from and to, I guess. Olive saying they tried to make some Toto into dismal AM radio music too, but I had my own lyrics. I guess Lorraine's down in Africa. Buff Del Campo saying Kim made me stop and get a hotel room. Yeah, it's good to rest, Buff. I do the same thing. I'm always like, you know what? What's 14 hours? What's 18 hours? Then around 21 hours, I'm like, am I going up or downhill right now? I don't really know anymore. So it's good to get some rest, man. Mike N saying is my VPN apparently. It'll happen as long as I'm okay. As long as I'm not skipping and jumping, all that crap. Nafi Islam saying, bye everyone, I'm going to college. Thanks for stopping in, Nafi. Always glad to see you, man. Yeah, 80s music. I like the one-offs. Like I really like Talk Talk, like It's My Life. Everybody, I think like three people covered that song, but their version is really damn good. Um, and of course, love Tears for Fears. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just of course, because of friggin' Stranger Things, everybody's playing Kate Bush and stuff lately. I thought that was kind of funny. Buff Del Campo saying, yes, out on the road. I was working in Oregon. I'm trying to get home. That's quite the drive, Buff. You're in Tennessee now, right? I mean, Oregon to Tennessee. That's got to be a nice drive, though. Danny Boyd saw Weezer back in the 90s. Abel D saying one of the records already does collect Menudo. Shell saying I inherited my mother's music collection: old swing, old country, psychedelic rock, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Proclaimers. Mexican Spec is saying that the GPS said it would take me 8 hours to get to Durango from where I was. It took 12. Yeah, if you stop and if you kind of go a little slower, than the GPS anticipates, it'll always kind of add up. Buff is already in Missouri. So you drove for how many hours did you drive for, Buff? Was it all day or did you take a break? The food nerd is in the chat saying Mooney. Emma. Chris Greenaway saying John Wilbur in Dallas, and the list goes on. Tony and Buff streams were the best. Kiwi does good. I just wish he'd find someone to aid him because the guy has plans he shelved because of no aid. Chris Greenaway saying Buff, hope the dart's going well. What about Talk Talk by Talk Talk? Unfinished project saying that's funny, Max. My last trip to get a vehicle said 8 and took 12 also. That'll kind of happen, especially here, because I'm always driving north, and LA, getting through LA takes forever. And then you get past that, and Central California is really boring and hot. There's a bunch of orchards and vineyards. Then you get up towards Stockton and you hit traffic again. And usually by the time I get to around Redding, I'm absolutely exhausted. I've driven all the way up to Washington in one shot, but I don't do the same thing now. I crash usually somewhere in Oregon or around Redding, and I'll get at least a few hours, get myself jacked up on some energy drinks, and I get up there. But it's a man. In Oregon, it's not tough to drive there, but with the grades and everything else, you know what I mean? It's something that I'd like to be more alert while I'm driving. So it's like, again, after the entire state of California, it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Um, Dean saying, Dennis Leary, I love my buddy, and I sing it while we're out on body surfing to St. Kilda Ocean by the shark nets. No shark even gets close to us. Brian saying, my dad for a while worked in the Oregon, Washington area. I forget what company he worked for after Boeing as an independent contractor. All I was saying, I was glad to get a hold of like FM radio and stuff. Last time I took the road trip up north, I got that rental car and it had Bluetooth and I got YouTube music. So, I mean, it was gold. I just listened, whatever I felt like listening to was on. Danny Boyd saying, my mom listened to the MOR light adult contemporary of the 60s and 70s, which exposed me to Waylon Jennings, Tom T. Hall, Bobby Bear, Motown, Riders on the Storm, which I thought was Frank Sinatra. Mexican Spec saying, no stops, Ari. The fastest I drove was 100. So you're always talking about pesos and kilometers and units of measurement that I don't understand. No, I'm kidding. 105 kilometers, even on flat, dry roads. That's like 60 some miles an hour, isn't it? I don't know. Rich has got his mother's vinyl record collection. Buff Del Campo saying, I drove to Rock Springs, Wyoming yesterday and slept a couple of hours in the car, and now Missouri. Yeah, Buff, I do the same thing. I'll find a decent rest stop and just kind of crash out. I usually try to stock up on snacks first. That way I got something to kind of occupy myself when I wake up and not hate the world so much. Mexican Spec saying, I'm going to do a video about what happened to us on the road. I have 3 stories. You told me about the one where the semi ditched itself. Mom saying, I like to drive to Klamath, spend the night. Abel D is saying, Ari, heading out to check my tire pressure and fluids for the week. Thanks for the good times. If you're down, let's talk via Morse code and plan it for Power Tour West. Definitely, Abel. I'll hit you up, man. Like I said, I got a lot of maintenance to do on the truck. There was pretty much everything that I had to do before the engine blew is like, I really need to deal with now because it hasn't gotten any better for some reason. But yeah, brother, I'll definitely reach out to you about it. That'd be kind of fun. Be safe, man. Have a solid week. You're already checking your fluids, man. So enjoy it, brother. Thank you always. Well, I'm saying Dennis Leary with all those cigarettes in his mouth. I'm just a regular Joe with a regular job. Anybody saying, Where's the Love by Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway? Yes. Chris Cadman saying, Ari, your cat is out again and HOA will talk to you. They're pretty bad about that. We've got Janila Manderson in the chat saying, hi. Welcome, Janila. How are you? Bit less than 60 miles per hour, I think. Yeah, all of my, again, kilometers. What is a kilometer? What is that? What is this, Dr. Seuss? Dean saying, I like singing STP and Velvet Revolver. Sharks hate that stuff. Velvet Revolver. I haven't heard that one for a while, Dean. Dean saying it must be his accent. Good night, says Unfinished Project. Have a good night, brother. Thanks so much for stopping in. Hope you have a solid week out there. I'm sure you got a lot to do. Be safe, man. Check your fluids. Mexican spec saying you do not stop at night on the road in Mexico. I shouldn't have been driving at night, but the town I was in was too ugly. I had to go to Durango. Durango. In hindsight, that wasn't a good idea. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. But man, that doesn't sound like fun. I wouldn't want to be on the road at night in Mexico. Buff Del Campo saying, I deal with kilometers, miles, and knots. Buff, I understood a third of that. I'm just kidding. I like to make excuses for myself being uneducated. I don't really do that. Don Knotts, Dean is saying. Don Knotts, indeed. Don Knotts, indeed. Yeah, I was like, what was it last time on Tony's Tech Talk? We were talking about the metric system. Instead of the metric, the on the metric drawer of my toolbox, I'm just gonna put a rainbow flag there now. Buff Del Campo saying 100 miles per hour is 87 knots. I'm writing it down, Buff. Dickie Farley saying the incredible Mr. Limpet with Don Knotts is free on YouTube. Dickie, do you ever watch the Tubi app? I've been stuck on the Tubi app lately, and there's just absolute gold on there. Mike Ed saying light adult contemporary hits from the 70s and 80s. Yacht Rock is Christopher Cross, Steely Dan, Doobie Brothers, Rupert Holmes. Mike, my buddy's in the deepest yacht rock phase. Deepest. I can do Steely Dan. Kenny Boyd saying Toto is yacht rock too. Mike N saying Pluto TV is a good free TV app. Do they have movies, Mike? Tubi, I just stream shows and movies. But right now, they've got a lot of the old spaghetti westerns. I probably said this already. I tend to repeat myself. Brain damage. But they've got a lot of the old spaghetti westerns, and they're actually still in Italian, subtitled in English, and in widescreen. So it's kind of a treat for me. I'll check it out, Mike. See, I got to write it down. I'm talking about that brain damage there. Dickie Farley saying, I used to watch Tubi sometimes, but you hit that point where you watch everything. I've always been a big YouTube fan. Lately they've been doing good. Tubi is awesome, though. I have trouble finding anything I want to stick to on YouTube. Every now and then, excuse me, they'll have something, but normally anything I want to watch is like a couple dollar rental. Buff Del Campo saying, I got to go. I feel like crap. Sorry. No worries, Buff. Please feel better, man. Get some rest. Get some fluids in, man. Check your fluids. And I know how it is driving like that, man. Hit the ibuprofen. Get something to hydrate yourself. Some good electrolytes, and get some food too. You probably didn't eat enough, man. My go-to is always kettle chips and pepperoni sticks, meat and potatoes. But feel better, man. Have a good night. Have a good week, and check your fluids, brother. Drive safe, man. All I'm saying, Doctor Who, stuff like that. Can we say nothing's better than the 111? My favorite theme's that gunfight at Red Sands, which is a cheesy movie. Cheesy movie. But it's a great theme. Buff Del Campo saying I ate a Big Mac. Maybe that's a problem. Yeah, sometimes that'll hit you bad too. Like I said, I swear by the meat sticks and the potato chips because it's just meat and potatoes and it's always sealed. So it's like you don't run the risk. Paul Pahui's in the chat. He's saying, I like to blast Jethro Tull's Locomotive Breath while I'm cruising down the interstate. That is a really great song. That I think that's one of the only ones I know. I have a few of their albums, but I only know Bungle in the Jungle and Locomotive Breath. Brian M. saying, at least you do not eat a bacon ultimate cheeseburger, Buff. Oh, don't bring up Jack, Brian. I'm going to have to drive over. All I'm saying, I like the Love and Rockets album. Danny Boyd saying, was never a Western movie fan either. If there ain't a car chase, I'm not interested. Horse Chase, man. Horse Chase is the original car chase. Mountain Mississippi Queen. Nice. Sand Mountain Ballistics is in the chat. Howdy, Hunter. I'm really not a big Eagles fan. I blame that on Mojo Nixon. He sang the song Don Henley Must Die, and I agreed with him. No, not a lot of Eagles for me. Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry is good for state roads at night. I fluctuate. Like, I mean, if I were to look through my phone, like my playlist is ass backwards. Ass backwards. Doesn't make any sense. I guess that's probably just a millennial thing, but Danny Boyd saying, I haven't eaten a restaurant meal in 2 months. I actually feel better. It's been a while since I had, well, no, I mean, I had a cheeseburger with the kid today. I'll get burgers with the kid, a little bit and stuff like that, but generally I just eat my same crap. I go to the store and pick out a meal, and the lady's like, creature of habit, huh? I'm like, just like, yes. Mopar Man saying McNasty's, it's people. Yeah, 20% people or whatever, right? Mopar Man, come on, man. You want to eat some people? Mopar Man, I got a recipe for pork shoulder that I call the recipe's called The Natives Are Restless because the pork shoulder looks so much like people. Mike N saying Sergio Leone is a different kind of Western. Sergio is great, Mike N, but I really, it's Sergio Corbucci I've been on too, but Louis, yeah. And you got the Louis Bacalov and Ennio Morricone. You know what I mean? Both of them are just so good, it's hard to choose. It's going well, Hunter. I'm just hanging out, man. Just yapping at the poor people. Wasting time, same as ever. Chris Greenaway is asking Sand Mountain how you feel about 6.8 Western. Hunter saying, I don't know much about it, Chris, but I'm sure it packs a punch. Yeah, some of that Wildcat stuff, unless you've read about it a little bit, it's hard to really understand. Might be. I have my Lyman reloading catalog here. It might be in there. I don't want to take the time to look through a catalog. I'm supposed to be talking to you guys. Talking about desert music. Dickie Farley's kind of always thought of myself as a people person. I still haven't listened to him, Mopar Man. I got to write it down again. Mike N saying DOA by Blood Rock, scariest song ever. Don't drive alone with that song playing. I forget. I think it was a Flaming Lips. I had a cassette tape from the Flaming Lips that scared the shit out of me. It was like some like jammed out kind of thing, and then it just came in with like a scream. And I'm driving alone. I'm like, whoa, shh. You know what I mean? The Flaming Lips got me for sure. I think it was. I think the song was "Shine On, Sweet Jesus" or something. I can't remember. It was on. At least it was on the same album that song is on. I can't remember what it was called. People make up stories about fast food places. Jack in the Box was caught for selling Rue burgers. I mean, I don't know. Chris Cadman says people are bitter. Don't eat them. Funk 49, yes. Olive saying I always like surf music for drifting in the snow. Yeah. Surf music for anything, Olive. Hunter saying I put my 342 in today and it started leaking at the pinion seal. There's a weird noise and I think it's because the dang spider gears are what I call rust belt locked. Well, that doesn't sound like fun. I wonder. I mean, maybe you need a little more torque or probably a little more torque on your pinion nut. I'm always reaching for the simple crap. But. Chris Greenaway saying a 6.8 is essentially 270 with up to 180 grain bullets of the recoil of a 307 mag. Olive saying, ever hear Man or Astro Man? Olive, I'm not like non-surfer. I just never did it. You know what I mean? It's funny growing up in a place called Surf City and never surfing. So, but I always loved that music a bunch. Mostly the lively ones and Ventures, Dick Dale a lot. But I'll look it up though. Also the Butthole Surfers. I'll look it up though, Olive. Give me something to do with myself. Yeah, Mike, shine on, sweet Jesus. What is it? It's like Jesus is on the run, Jesus is on the sun, watching the planets run. It's like, it's got the voices on the different frequencies, like David Bowie. Shine on, sweet Jesus, for me. Well, I'm saying just that theme from the original Exorcist is scary to me. I think my mom was scared of The Exorcist because it reminded her of her when she's pissed off. Your mother's a slut in hell. All I'm saying, Man or Astro Man's more like modern sci-fi themed. I'd check it out. Hunter saying, well, this is the original third member that I scored, and it came from Indiana. Cleaned it up and went through it. I thought enough turns of spider gears will break free, and hopefully it'll stop. Yeah, probably. I guess if you run some synthetic in there, it'll probably clear itself out. Cheesy old sci-fi theme, my favorite. Shell saying Dick Dale playing Pipeline, yes. Hunter saying I may try some stop leak because why not? Yeah, true. No, I never seen that one, Mopar Man. Mopar Man, I've seen Junior Brown a couple times. That's one of my favorite shows to see. Absolute favorite. Like, it is just such a great feeling sitting there with a beer and listening to Junior jam it out. Like in seeing Tubular Bells. Danny Boyd saying, I had a posi lock up in my old 1982 Mustang GT and it broke the damn spider gears. Mom's saying, I warned Allie, that's my brother, not to watch it when he was a kid. I made him wait until he was 10. He laughed through the entire movie. Oh, God. Come on, Ma. Have you guys ever wondered why I'm a kind of, not a whole person? Talk to my mom. Hunter saying, I cleaned him up best I could. It's not a posi, but maybe it'll break free. Croyle, man. Everybody told me, to use Croyle, and I was like, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. And then I finally used some that Hubie had, and I was like, I don't ever want to use anything but Croyle. It's the oil that creeps. Papa Hooey's saying Dick Dale grew up in Quincy, Massachusetts until he was 15 years old. That's right. He came out here and just hit the beach, right? He just... Brian M. saying, one of these days you'll need to tell us the good stories about Ari. Oh, God, yeah, I mean... There's no way she could embarrass me more than I embarrass myself on a weekly basis with everybody in this live stream. So, I mean, I invite that. I'm not opposed. Hunter saying Croyle is the best, but you got to pay for it. Hunter, that's why I used Hubie's Croyle. Dickie Farley grew up in Ohio, if anyone cares. Dickie, I've never been to that part of the country, so I lack perspective, but that's pretty rad, man. Danny Boyd saying, fill it with PB Blaster and pull the car around the yard with a tractor or a truck. I'm weird about that. I feel like the 80-90 or 75-90 or whatever synthetic gear oil is like just as watery as anything I'm using, especially after getting up to temperature. I feel like it's as watery as the PB Blaster. Danny Boyd saying, I lived all my life in Ohio. We're a bunch of hicks. I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. I don't know. I mean, I know the Neil Young song, I guess. Sandmountain Ballistic saying, Dan, I think what I'm going to do is take sharp turns until it breaks free. Yeah. Yeah, why not? I was hearing some noise off of my truck, and I thought I was getting like some tire rubbing or something, but I'm thinking it's the rear end, so I might have to add some some of that beautiful smelling Ford friction modifier or something to it. I want to see if that gets rid of the sound. That's Syria Coke. Syria Coke? I can't. I'm probably reading that hell wrong. Saying, can you name a villain for an edit, please? A villain. I've got trouble with that. All the villains seem like heroes to me. I really like Bane. Especially that I think what was it Tom Hardy did Bane, right? I was born in the darkness. You merely found it. Yeah, Bane, I guess. Mexican Spec said Hillary. It's true. He's not wrong. Shell grew up in Springfield. I lack perspective. I've always been here. I went to Arkansas for a few months, stayed with my mom when I was a younger kid. And I've pretty much been here. I've traveled up north a little bit. Washington State, of course. Nevada. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Baja, Mexico, which is barely Mexico, but still Mexico. But I haven't been around much. I'm kind of a shut-in. I'm kind of an ignorant person. I'll admit that. Hunter saying, worst case scenario, I could trade it from my buddy's 323. He wanted to trade it to me with some cash, and I bet his is in way better condition than mine. Whatever works, man. You were trying to get lower gears in it, right? I mean, you were kind of. I don't know though. After that highway mileage you were getting on the trip to the No Name Nationals, I don't know if I would have messed with anything. I mean, I know you want to get a quarter eighth mile or a better 8 mile time, but I don't know. How much time do you spend on the track with the thing? Mike Ensign, I've been everywhere, man. Dean saying the best Arkansas governors, the best hairstyles. Mopar Man saying just posted the rock version of the Phantasm song. I'll check it out. Shell saying I know Whitaker's very well. Whitakers. Miamisburg. Mike, you're confunding me again. Hunter's saying I can always change the 269 back in, but I figured why not try some better gears. Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not mess with it for sure? But I mean, for basic drivability, that mileage you were getting was rad, man. And then it's like I don't know, I felt like it. But yeah, why not mess with it? That's what it's for. Hope our man saying the Slick Willie hairstyle. Hunter saying I don't think it's 60 miles per hour, and it'll want to. I think. Oh, I'm saying that 60 miles per hour won't affect my mileage. Hey, you never know. I guess you got to just try and see. That's the point, you know. That's the thing, you know. I never change anything. Like my truck basically looks the same as when I bought it. The only thing I changed were the wheels, and I lowered it. I mean, I've obviously changed pretty much everything since, but it looks the same, you know. So it's like, if something's not overly broken or not bothering me too much, I just leave it. I like the 390 gears. Paint namer, howdy brother. So the area I live in, Ohio, has been transitioning from country bonfires and target shooting to the suburbanites who want peace and quiet. Ah, man, that's the worst. I've always really liked that balance of like just kind of being able to do what you need to do and no one bothers you, and then the people who live near you do what they need to do and you don't bother them. And I don't know. Hunter saying I got like 18 driving about 60ish because Dakota's GAR is geared low. If I was going 70 to 75, I probably would have gotten maybe 20 miles per gallon. Yeah, that thing's pretty sweet, man. It's a great car. Really great car. You guys are talking about. Oh, geez, you guys are locals. That's pretty rad. It's like a Fudd Pucker family reunion. Hunter saying, as Dakota says, my car is magic. They're all haunted to some degree, you know what I mean? You got to imagine whoever bought them new probably ain't around, so it's probably a haunted car. I know my truck is haunted. Danny Boyd saying, might have met then. Jamie was my girl for a while in the 80s. Mom just died recently, too. I'm sorry to hear that. Jeez. Graduated from South High in 1982. I was supposed to be class of 2010, I believe. Weird. All I'm saying, as long as your friend's a lively car spirit is good. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it just, I don't know. Mexican Specs, and I gotta go, guys. Gotta get up early. Adios, all. Have a good night, Mexican Spec. Thanks for stopping in, brother. I'm glad you're okay after the crazy road trip. I hope you find a decent beetle for your customer, and I pray somebody isn't just trying to charge you, the whole world for it. But have a good week, man. Hope to hear from you soon. Hunter saying, "Oh, I fixed my lights. Remember how they were automatically coming on with the switch, even on accessories? Well, I checked everything, and it was just ended up two wires and the fuse box had rubbed against each other. Well, that's cool. I had that same problem. I back behind the fuse box, a couple corroded little wires, and I just brand new connections and." I should just get a wiring kit for the damn truck. I should. Just a nice American Auto wire or something, but I never have the money to drop on that, nor the patience to install it. That's a whole separate issue. I mean, I could. I could do it. Ever heard that one before? Mexican Spec says to check the Manteca. Dickie Farley saying, luckily I still live in part of Ohio where it's shoot your guns out back if you want. I've literally watched my neighbor get drunk and blow his car up spinning around down a little hill in his own yard. See, that's freedom. That's what that is, Dickie. That is freedom. I always wanted somewhere like that to live just because I wanted to test the ammo I reloaded. I didn't want to get to the range or out in the desert to find out it's going to blow my face up. Danny Boyd saying, I wish I lived out in the country instead of the inner city. I believe you, man. Olive saying, I should see about making friends with the neighbor with the backyard range. Not quite safe on this hill. I heard this song from a truck driver in Gallipolis, Ohio. I'm an old hog hauler and I drive a big truck. I shot the pinball machine, but it cost me bad luck. Alva's saying 18 miles per gallon. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a sweet car. The Star Chief, I mean, it's really not one you see every day. And he's got the cross ram on there and it gets good mileage. Sweet car. Shell's saying, Dan, I really have no interest in going back. Springfield is the heroin capital of Ohio now. That sucks. That's always the worst. You see people passed out in corners and everything else, and it's like, why is it illegal to mess with them, though? I think it's supposed to be Gallipoli, but it's Gallipolis. Gallipolis. I don't really know. I understand it probably run high 9s and 8. It's a nice car. Hunter saying I ran close to a 10.2 and I believe I was going close to getting into the 9s. Yeah, I bet a couple little tweaks and you could definitely get into the 9s comfortably. Gallipolis. Dickie Farley saying, I'll fire off high-powered rifles sometimes. I live in an actual town, just small and no one cares. Actually, no one cares at all if anybody in town wants to shoot. They usually come to my place. Nice. Juan Jose Avila Perez is in the chat. Not much español. Hablo poquito español, but uh, stupid, man. No me entiendo. Gallipolis. Sand Mountain is saying, but welcome just the same one. They say welcome. Is that what that bienvenidos means? I should learn more Spanish. I live like an hour and a half from Mexico. Well, yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call the stream a little bit early. I got some stuff to do real early tomorrow morning and a couple more errands to run. I got to get this stupid cat litter and gas up the truck and a couple more things, and it's getting late in the evening here. But as long as it's okay with you guys, I'll go ahead and cut it off, call it a night. I've been doing another live stream during the week. I think I did my last one on Thursday, and a few people popped in. It was fun. So, I think I'm going to try to continue that. If Tony's going to do Wednesday night, I might try to go after his show again, do a weekday after the Tony, or just do Thursday, whatever works. But definitely got a couple. I keep saying I got a couple videos to do and a lot of work to do. But more updates, hopefully some funny shorts, something cool. But thanks so much for stopping in, everybody. It's been a cool stream. I got a whole list of movies and some music to listen to. I appreciate it. And as always, you guys are the best. But have a great week out there. Be safe. Don't hurt nobody. And check your fluids. Good luck, everybody. Thank you so much. Check your fluids. Thank you.